Welcome back, bro. Today, I'm in the car. Why? Because it's noisy in school, and I also didn't bring my microphone to school because I don't know why I would do that. So while I have free time, I'm going to go ahead and talk to you about, what did I write down? False productivity. Okay, maybe false is the wrong word here, but it triggered my mind a little bit, and I got thinking in the first period of today. The conversation was about productivity and, you know, tips and tricks one can use to be more productive. But what I was hearing was very counteractive to what I have found and honestly what is the most efficient. And some of those points were one that I heard was like I want to be comfy, so I'll do it while laying down on the couch or in bed, so I don't want to move. Another one I heard, so that one would like prevent you from getting up and wasting time, right? Another one I heard was do the easy tasks first because it builds momentum to work into the harder tasks. And I think those were the two biggest ones I wanted to cover. And if any other ones come to mind, I'll talk about them. But I thought we ought to hop into these. These are a little hot for me because I am guilty for having done both of them for many years. But from what I have learned within the last year of my life is that neither of those actually work. Let's start with the first one. This one will be a lot quicker. The first one, laying down while doing work doesn't actually help you that much unless you are caffeinated. If you have caffeine, and I mean like a good chunk of caffeine, maybe you're okay. But you see, I'm not blonde. I'm just kidding. That would be racist if I was saying blonde people consume caffeine. Everyone consumes caffeine, right? Right. Okay. But what I'm trying to say is I have no problem with caffeine, right? But I also don't consume caffeine hardly ever. It's very uncommon. So, and if I do, it's like because I took a swig of a Dr. Pepper, and that's not really like there's not a lot of caffeine in that. So, if I lay down to do work, I will have zero motivation. I will have zero focus, and I will probably be craving many things other than doing work, like food, or or watching literally anything. Like I as soon as I lay down, it doesn't even go away if I sit down. I'm a little hyperactive sometimes, and even sitting down makes me just so sleepy, to the point where instead of working and focusing, I would rather watch anything. It could be the most boring documentary possible, but I would rather do that than work. I have an issue. We'll talk about that at some point. Maybe not in this video. Maybe we will. I don't know. But it is very, very difficult, and you are honestly just counteracting your own productivity by laying down or getting really cozy while working. As a masculine man, I must say. Let me put that back in there because I'm trying to get like pretty difficult tasks done at times, and I do not want, as much as I would love to lay down, it makes it take longer. I don't want the task to take any longer than it has to, right? So I'm gonna get it done as fast as I can and as efficient as I can, so I gotta push through and do it. So there you go. Don't do that, okay? I used to do that when I did homework, and the only reason this sometimes works is because homework is like 80% of the time busy, useless work, and a lot of those times you don't have to use your brain once, and you can just like you don't have to use your brain a single time. You can just use either ChatGPT or just Google the crap and then write it up. So there's those assignments that I used to but trying to write an essay or actually do math that calculators won't do for you doesn't work. It does not work. So there's that. The other one I want to cover is doing the easy test first. The other one is like kind of common sense. Like I guess that again, if you have caffeine in your system and you are not tired, I'm always tired. Not because I don't sleep enough. It's because, well, actually I don't sleep enough. For me, I would like to have like 9 hours of sleep, but the school system and necessities of life don't really easily allow for that, and it rarely even gets close. It's usually about 8 hours. It's not enough. But as I was saying, dang, that was a ramble. But with doing the harder tasks or the easier tasks first, right? This is just completely false. Because again, especially because I have ADD or whatever, I don't think it's ADD. I think it's the fact that, okay, well, maybe there's some, like, there's a bit of genetic stuff. Like, there's some ADD symptoms that run throughout the family, like anxiety. That's a symptom of ADD. Things like that, which is fair, but doesn't everybody these days have that kind of crap? I don't think I'm that special. I just think that I have, like, the chemical makeup that gives me a lot of energy. It's almost like spazzing energy. You know, I'll get bursts. But, it is, I still have a limited mental capacity. And some, you can coin that to willpower and other things. And I think there's something to that. But nonetheless, it's limited. It is very limited. Especially for me. I hate sitting down. Like, I really don't like sitting down. I could run all day. I could do, it would hurt, but if I needed to, I would do push-ups all day. I don't like sitting down. So, because of that, doing the easy test first saps the little willpower and energy that I had, the mental energy I had. Oh, look, the sun. Little mental energy I had to do the hard tasks. And I started draining it with already useless tasks. Because, be honest, like, the little homework assignments you have are the most useless ones. Even the big ones can be useless. But the little ones are 95% of the time just like, you know, the world isn't changing because you're doing them. The world is not a better place because you did this assignment. Nor is there more food or less food, or like you didn't impact the world in a single way because you did this assignment, right? You didn't solve world hunger. That's what I'm trying to say. So it is very, very unproductive to actually do the easy tasks first for that reason. Because by the time you get to the big task, you've wasted about 25 minutes to a half hour, and you're already pretty ready to get out of here. Momentum isn't really a thing for me. I don't know if it is for some people. For what I'm hearing, it really isn't a thing where it's like, oh my gosh, momentum, we're getting stuff done. I guess it depends on the grand size of the task. But in all honesty, the greatest way to get something done and to fight procrastination is, and we talked about cold exposure a little bit ago. So, like, if there is something you're just dreading to do, I bid that you don't eat any food, like, a couple hours before the task. Just don't eat. I'm not eating today until about 4 or 5, and it's only 10. Like, it's almost 11, but still, fast. Cold plunge, cold water, something. You need to do something that's even like harder. Andrew Huberman was talking about this. That's why it's around the brain, but something that's harder than what you're actually trying to accomplish. The actual task. For most people, that's really simple. Take a cold shower for literally 30 seconds, and you just did something really hard and uncomfortable. But okay, maybe it's not as bad as writing, the 2-page essay, right? It's 3 pages, even if it's 5 or 7. Like, when you're writing 5 or 7 pages, you're sitting down in a most likely heated home, right? At a desk or at school, versus, sitting in cold water when there's nobody else around you would say, oh, hey, get in the cold water for me, will you? No, the teacher's not asking you to do that. That's all up to you. So, and then bust out the next step, right? Bust out that next task, the big task. For me, a little bit ago, it was this literature review I had to write. I had written a bunch of summaries previous to it, and I thought, okay, now it's time. Let's crank it out. So I woke up at like 6 or 7, because it was a weekend. So actually, like, most people weren't doing this crap. They were waiting to do it in the night or whatever when they had zero mental energy left. So I did it first thing that morning, and I got it done in 2 hours. And then I was done. Then I was completely done. And also, once you complete that final task, you realize how, like, extra useless the little tasks are, and you don't even feel the necessity to do them anymore. Like, whatever little bit of anxiety, maybe not anxiety, but like weight was on them, and you feel like, oh, I do need to get that done, it disappeared completely. You did not care anymore because you realized how unimportant it was. And even if it just depends on like how important it is. Like the level of your expectation of the importance and the actual importance, they actually met. So if it was down here, then like it would go down here and you wouldn't do it because you didn't have to. But if it was up here and then you drop down a little bit, you're like, fine, I'll do the thing. But because this is when you have rhythm, it's called being in a flow state, folks. You can ask Hamza Ahmed about that. But yes, that is how it works for me, and most likely for you, if we're being honest. The hardest task should be done first when you have the most mental energy, and yes, it'll strain you out as time goes on, but it's done. It's completely done, and you saved a lot of time by not having to like force yourself to do it. The biggest forcing bit is getting started. That's what they were saying in the classroom earlier today. It was like, getting started is the hardest part, so build momentum. But getting started is the hardest part, so just get started, get it over with, and finish the assignment in half the time. You didn't waste time doing any small tasks. Because also, even if you did all the small tasks and you got momentum, there will be a ton of parts, even after you push yourself, okay, fine, I'll start writing it. There are going to be a lot of times when you're tired. And, I mean, yeah, you're tired because you just spent 45 minutes. Half of those 45 minutes were not doing this actual task, so now you're here. When you start first thing in the morning doing that hard task, definitely you'll feel thoughtless at times, which is amazing. I love having no thoughts in my head, because there probably is ADD in me, folks, because I have a lot of those in my head. And it is very nice to just not have any. You know? You forget about time. You set a timer and you tell yourself, alright, when this thing goes off, I'll be done. So you set a 2.5 hour timer, and you go. Okay. When it's over, I guess. Like, you're just gonna work until then. And it's very refreshing. If you were to do that after doing the small tasks, it wouldn't, it just, yeah. It'd be too splotchy, too spotty. You'd come in and out. So, there you go. False productivity, I just destroyed it. Okay? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So, be productive, folks. I love you. Have an awesome day, my brother. Now I gotta press the stop button. There it is. Bye.